The Bible is the only book that has prophecies fulfilled later on in the same book. And more being fulfilled today, and there's even more to come. For those of you who attend Bible Chat, we're studying what? Revelation. And we're talking about the things that have happened and the things that are happening now and the things to come. And the Bible is the only book, the only religious book that has prophecies that are being fulfilled within the same book in a later time. You see the prophecies of the Old Testament come true in the New Testament. And then, of course, another point that we never think about it, and many of us probably don't even know. The New Testament alone has around 25,000 historical manuscripts. This is more than any other documented history manuscript in existence. What, for the manuscripts? But at least what's contained in them proves that there's something that lines up with what we have. Yeah, بالضبط, yeah. But the point is, this is still more than any other documented, even full manuscripts that people trust religiously, such as Homer and Plato and things like that. And people trust that, oh, this is historical, this existed, this مش عارف ايه. And then finally, of course, there are many scientific findings that prove the validity of the Bible. Many. Okay. Huh? Yeah. So we're going to talk today about we're going to touch on a few things that kind of show the validity. And of course, when we talk about manuscripts like some of the New Testament, there's also other things from the Old Testament that we're going to get into. Okay, so in order for us to understand, we have to understand, first of all, what is archaeology, okay? Archaeology comes from two words. As anything else that has ology in it, right? We know that it comes from Greek. Archaeology is the study of things people made, used, and left behind, like buildings, tools, weapons, and art. And this is a discipline there's a whole discipline in science for scientists who study archaeology, and they're called archaeologists, okay? Of course, when we hear archaeology, most of us think of Indiana Jones, but it's not always like that, where no one is chasing boulder, or like there's no boulders chasing anyone, or somebody trying to rip your heart out when you look for evidence, you know. I guess you guys, most of you are too young to even know what I'm talking about. It's sad. The word archaeology, في حد بيحاول يلاقي some artifacts right now. Okay. طب can we at least tell them to turn off the music for now, or or am I supposed to? It's, by the way, it will always be an apologetics lesson that this stuff will happen in. Okay? يا لهوي. ماشي. The word archaeology the word أكمل? Okay. مفيش. Okay. Comes from the word archaeos, or chaos. No, I'm just kidding. Archaeos, which means Greek, it's Greek for ancient, archaeos. And then ology means the study of, so like the study of ancient history or ancient findings. And of course, like we see this in National Geographic and different things in different, like where people, you know, they dig and they find different artifacts and things like that point to previous civilizations and things like that. Okay, and there's, you know, one verse that I really want us to kind of keep in mind when we're studying this today, and that is from 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16 to 17. All scripture is given by inspiration of God and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of God may be complete, thoroughly equipped for every good work. As servants, we need to have this in mind. And we need to refresh our memory always with this, and we need to always keep this in our heart in order for us to have the right spirit in tackling whatever question there may be. This man here, Donald Wiseman, is a famous archaeologist, and he said that there has been more than 25,000 archaeologist studies that have helped confirm the Bible as truthful. And this man is a professor also of Assyriology, so people who study the Assyrian culture, the ancient culture. And this was said in 1958. Okay, when it comes to written language, our first exhibit. Up there, you see it's a picture of the world's oldest known library that was founded sometimes in the 7th century BC. Why is this relevant to the Bible or anything like that? So it was once claimed that Moses, approximately 1500 BC, could not have written anything on the grounds that the written language did not exist during his time. This is one argument that is made, that during that time, there's no way that there would have been written languages because it didn't exist then. Libraries that were found in the ruins of Ur, modern-day Iraq, with tablets dated before Moses, plus many other ancient inscriptions, have been found during an earlier time. So that claim right there, debunked. Right? So that's one thing. I don't know, how many of y'all were actually aware that this is one of the things that people criticize with, that during the time of Moses there was no written language? Okay, so we need to be aware. These are some of the things our kids are faced with in order for people to instill doubt in them. Okay? And very simply, this is one example of proof of a library dated back to the time before Moses that there was written language. So in fact, Moses did have written language during that time, and he did write what he wrote. Okay, then the Pishon River in Genesis 2, chapter 2, verse 11, the name of the first is the Pishon. It winds through the entire land of Havilah where there is gold. The use of infrared satellite technology revealed this lost river buried by the desert sand. And just to kind of simplify what this means, there's a discipline in geology called remote sensing. Okay? And we studied this. This is where they look at satellite imagery in a way where they can tell, based on different things that are indicated by the satellite imagery, what could have been there years ago. And so they did one of these image, like while they were studying this area, they were able to find the ancient remainders of a river. And they can find this because they can sense it buried deep underneath the ground. Because whenever there's a source of water, it always leaves a mark deep in the ground, layers and layers down. So they found in a location that lines up exactly where this river is mentioned in the Bible, they found the remains of a river there. Okay?